an influencer.
If someone wants to fake it...
Basically, I'm on steroids. Steph's first boyfriend.
Abbey Sharp, who is she? You as the person, Nuttyfoodiefitness, would have a better idea what fits you and suits your body than some stranger from outer Mongolia. I would shove that judgment where it belongs. It's about time this record was put straight. I've had enough of this.
Haters are gonna hate. Like this.
Well, then someone needs to shut them up, then, don't they?
Guys, I think he's been triggered. Keep calm, okay? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Nuttyfoodiefitness here. Today, my dad has come to join us. I mean, he's very silent right now, but really the main reason that we are filming this video because there's a lot of opinions on social media. Everyone seems to have their opinion. To be quite honest with you, I'm okay with that. People like to talk, and they like to talk a lot, but the thing that most people don't know is that my dad also likes to talk, and he also has very strong opinions on certain things. And so today my dad is basically going to be reacting to accusations, videos made on me, on my diet. My dad is basically going to be reacting to comments and opinions that many people have on me, and please brace yourselves because my dad, he is very opinionated and also has many things that he would probably like to say. Fair to say?
Yeah, fair to say. Hopefully it will be informative. I mean, I know that you are popular, but I didn't realize you were quite that popular.
I mean, I didn't either. For people to make videos on me, yeah, I didn't either. Yeah. Okay, so we do have certain things that my dad will be reacting to, which many of you know. In fact, as of today, I think 250,000 people have watched a video that a dietitian has made on me and my diet. We'll also talk about drug use. We'll also be talking about faked marathon running.
Right.
So if you're ready for this video, you are ready for the tea to be spilled, smash
it.
The thumbs up button. I know that the topics may slightly get heated here, right. So we're just gonna ease in, and I have asked on Instagram for you guys to ask some questions for my dad to answer. What is your opinion on being an influencer, YouTuber or vlogger as a career?
So my opinion on this is some of them I think do quite a good job providing information, entertainment, and as long as there's some sort of positive purpose and helps enhance people's lives in terms of entertainment or helping them reach the right path in life, I have no objections to that. That's fine.
Do you ever worry about the negative comments your daughter receives online?
I would be less than honest if I said that I found them quite extraordinary, as some of your recent exchanges with some of the people who watched the video or commented on some of the posts.
Haters gonna hate.
I'm not worried about it, but I'm actually saddened by it because I think that everyone claiming to be an expert on a subject matter that they probably know little to nothing about is rather silly.
What was your proudest moment as a dad in regards, obviously, in regards to me?
That's actually fairly easy for me to answer.
Oh yeah?
The proudest moment for me happened very recently when Stephanie ran the marathon, accidentally. I ran for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And as you can see from the wrinkles...
You haven't got many.
Well, I wasn't really born yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think that I have a reasonable idea about distance running.
Yeah.
Since I started just prior to my 21st birthday, and I'm now 60, so I have 39 years of ignorance to count on. I also happen to come from Africa.
So the marathon for you?
Yeah, because it's something that was never achievable for the average Joe. Yeah. There was no such thing as a London Marathon when I used to run. So, you know, you have fulfilled one of my lifelong ambitions, and I felt very, very proud with that.
And as I did even say, that I did that, you know, for me, you. Yeah. 2 more questions and then we'll move on to the juicier bits. Okay. Pun intended.
Juice.
Ah, juice. Tropicana, that's what, as far as I know, it was juicy.
What was your thought on Steph's first boyfriend?
Oh, I remember him. I met him, funnily enough, when my mother was ill in A&E at Northwick Park. He wore a peculiar striped jumper, blue and white, I think.
How on earth do you remember that?
Oh, I remember. He was half Maltese.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was all right. He was inoffensive.
Inoffensive. What's your favourite thing for us to do together?
Spend time together. Most important thing in life is spending quality time with people.
Thoughts on Steph on steroids?
On steroids?
Thoughts on Steph on steroids?
I might first commented Stephanie and steroids. I wouldn't even know whether she would know what to do with them, but...
No, inject it up my ass.
Well, I don't know what you do with them.
I would know all about it.
I personally think that you know sweet affair about steroids.
Yeah, which you would be completely correct.
Right.
In fact, the only reason I know some of the names, for instance, Anavar, is because I've been tagged in a number of stories and there have been a number of comments where people have just openly said things about my so-called steroid use.
Isn't there a movie? Avatar or Anavar or something you said?
Anavar. I'm gonna just read a couple of the comments from, you know, people that clearly know more about me
than I do.
Yeah.
I'm only your dad, right?
Yeah. So this person has screenshotted me and Alex doing a Q&A.
Right.
And they've said a side effect of Anavar
Right.
is jaw growth more than your siblings have. So they're comparing me, my jaw, to Alex's.
Right.
They've then gone on to tag me in another story saying Anavar is very common in 2020. Instagrammers use it too. They've then made reference to this Olympic, I don't know who she is. Do you know who she is?
I don't know who she is.
So anyway, they've then compared me and said that I've got a classic Anavar physique. Let me just Google what Anavar is. Anavar. Oxandrolone. Oxandrin and Anavar, among others, is an anabolic steroid.
Oh.
Basically, I'm on steroids.
Okay.
I'm injecting myself. So what on earth do you have to say about this, specifically my jawline?
Right, okay. If someone was in an accident and their jaw was smashed up, it's suspected we would think that they were all on that Anavar stuff, wouldn't we? Because the jaw looked peculiar.
I think she's also talking about my physique. I don't hold that much fat in my stomach area, so obviously I'm taking things in order for me to be leaner and to eat what I eat.
Okay, right. The people who are into kind of bodybuilding, I hear them talking about amino acid and all that.
Yeah.
Now, the only acid I know is citric acid.
Yeah.
Now, citric acid is found in lemons. And I feel that a lot of these people are actually lemons. And very sour ones at that. That's what I think.
To continue on with this, somebody has written a comment on my photo saying, you might have the best abs in the entire world, which over the top, but thanks for the compliment. This same person has said...
Well, she takes Anavar.
Daniel then says, how do you know? And her response is, how do you know a banana is a banana?
How do you know someone is stupid is stupid?
Another one on this topic of steroids. So people on the internet think I'm a fake natty. They think I'm claiming natural, but really I'm taking substances.
So natty is a slang for
natural.
Natural.
I'm a fake natty because I don't tell people that I openly use steroids.
Okay, right. This account is called Nuttyfoodiefitness and it centers on nuts. Nuts tend to have very, very hard shells.
Yeah.
Someone would call a hard shell thick. Who am I to suggest that some of these people are thick? Heaven forbid.
More comments. You are definitely not natural. Show proof or take hormone tests that you aren't on Anavar or something.
Anavar increases your metabolism, increases your muscle, decreases fat without making you look unfeminine.
I mean, this is just hideous, no?
It's a little bit tedious and boring, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that it must be getting quite boring listening to all this expertise.
Shall we move on to the next subject? Although I do want to say one thing on this topic of increases muscle. What my followers don't know, and what you don't actually know, is that recently I've actually had a body scan.
All right.
So I've had a body scan.
You kept that a bit quiet.
I've kept that quiet. This tells me my body fat, it tells me my muscle mass. I've got all the stats.
Right.
And I'm thinking I could potentially make this a video.
Okay, right.
I'm just going to ask you one question, okay?
Yeah.
Obviously we know I'm quite muscular. We don't know if it's because of my steroid use. Obviously we don't know that.
Obviously.
But if you were to guess my muscle mass percentage,
Yeah.
what would you say? I can tell you what it is for the average female and for the average male. Average female on the internet, it has said between 30 to 33% is
Right.
how much muscle mass a female has.
I don't know too much about percentages.
I mean, I had no idea, but it's interesting.
But I would say she was freaky. So a freak would have a figure that would be completely ridiculous. So say 65, something like that.
Okay, you're wrong.
Okay.
It's much higher.
What, 75?
I don't know whether, shall I blank it out? You guys have no idea, but it just goes to show.
Yeah, but you're completely freaky, man. I know that. You'd have to be a bloody blind, wouldn't you? To not be able to see that this person's got a lot of muscle. And it's just a natural freak.
You play some part.
Well, yeah, genetically, I'm the old man. I mean, have you seen her mum? She's laughingly peanut butter and toast. Have you seen
the
her
same
arms?
vein? Sorry, I'm just using you. This is going in my video. That's the shoulder vein.
Yeah, so I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? There is going to be something unusual in this person's performance. If their makeup is completely freakish, then they might be able to do freakish things. You don't have to be Einstein, do you?
Got a lot on the marathon.
Oh, marathon. Oh, okay,
got a lot
nice.
on the marathon.
Nice.
If you guys don't know, I ran a marathon. It wasn't planned. My dad has obviously seen the video. Don't get me wrong, the comments have been lovely and all the support amazing. But there are some people that are convinced that I faked it.
Oh, so these are what? The experts?
So I'll read one comment. People who run a marathon are highly red in the face and flushed.
Sweating profusely, hobbling around and taxed to the max, breathing heavily and hurting for days afterwards, and you barely even broke a sweat? What? You didn't even film 1 minute or even one step of yourself in the act of jogging? Why not? Honestly, you don't look like someone who ran one step. How do we know you even ran it at all?
If I were to have pretended I did this, then I would have at least splashed a bit of water on my face, you know, made it a bit more believable. As in, it's that obvious that I didn't fake it. But anyway, she was crying before she even finished the marathon, because obviously I got emotional saying, this is what I'm going to do.
You've done something massive, right?
Yeah, and she didn't do that as a result of accomplishing it. I was already crying, basically, she's saying. Watch marathon runners to see what they look like in the middle of and after such a long distance run. Oh my god, seriously? So fake.
Right, so I watched the Kenyan guy recently run under 2 hours.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Kipchoge,
So I don't remember him puffing and panting and having sweat beads falling and like a river of sweat on the finishing line. I don't remember seeing any of that.
Yeah.
Remember, you're a slow coach. You took blink in 4 hours. This geezer ran it in 2 hours. Okay. So I really don't quite understand this business. Now, if someone wants to fake it, this marathon stuff, I mean, what would stop someone running on a treadmill, have a bit of sweat, taking a camera, going outside on the street and saying, I've just run a marathon?
I mean, yeah, that was my point. I could easily just put a bit of water on me.
The point is, purely and simply, one sometimes just has to appreciate and understand that there are some people who are faster, stronger, more talented than us. They can do things we cannot do. Usain Bolt, we can't run as fast as him. We just have to admire him. We don't have to get on our high horses and claim that we know about X, Y, and Z, because we know sweet FA about any of these things. And between you and I, what you people don't know is what actually happened 10 days ago. Okay? So let me just elaborate what happened 10 days ago. I spoke to Stephanie on Monday morning and she was in tears. I said, what's wrong, Steph? She goes, you will understand because you're a runner. And I said, yeah, go on, then spill the beans. So she did. So she left the house at 8:45 in the evening. It was a very sunny Sunday evening, I remember it distinctly. Yeah. And she started running, and she told her mum, says, don't wait up for me, I fancy going for a bit of a run, I'm feeling
I
good
specifically said, I don't know what it is, I said, I've just got so much energy and I need to do something.
So she went running, and she ran, and she ran, and she ran. Cutting a long story short, Stephanie had run, I don't know, was it 39 kilometers or whatever, and I think the split at, was it 35 kilometers was roughly 3 hours and 5 minutes. Which would mean that she would have run a marathon after her previous marathon, totally unplanned, and should have probably clocked about 3 hours 40 by my rough maths, right? She doesn't look out of breath today. It doesn't look as though her legs are broken or anything. Okay?
I mean, we spoke on FaceTime. You knew I was fine.
You showed me your purple toe, and I said, Stephanie's funny. I always used to have purple toes. And
we won't show you.
And what happened is that Stephanie was actually then going to run an ultra marathon. I didn't even know what an ultra marathon is. It's basically running beyond the marathon distance. She may have run 1 yard over or 5 miles over. I mean, I didn't give a Castlemaine about that, right? But the point is that she went home at about, I don't know, I think it was about roughly 11:30 or something.
Yeah, it was getting close to midnight.
And basically her mom and her brother were absolutely frantic with worry. Where had she gone? I won't bore you with the circumstances around what had actually happened that day. But cutting a long story short, Stephanie then didn't go and run that extra 6 kilometers, which have meant that she ran an ultra marathon, and you people would have been even more flummoxed, and you would have said that she's on this and she didn't do this and she didn't do that. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, Stephanie is freakishly talented, right? If you guys don't want to believe it, that's fine. Some things are true even if you don't believe in them, right? And that is one of them. There is little room left for wisdom if one is full of judgment. So what I would do is, I would shove that judgment where it belongs, where the sun don't shine, and try and pick up a little bit of wisdom. It might benefit you.
I think you covered everything on that.
I don't know whether the story you wanted to just know about it, so I said it.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a caption the day after saying, imagine I ran an
Yeah, of course I know all of that.
Based on that, they can know when it was.
Okay.
We've had a loose discussion on this prior,
Right.
and all I'm going to say is my dad was furious by this, and in which I told you over the phone to calm down, like, this is somebody's opinion.
I'm very calm today, by the way.
He is. So this person is a runner, and she did multiple stories on me. She's got a following as well.
She's a big runner then.
She's a big runner.
Oh, great.
And you'd think that, I don't know, like she'd be a bit educated, like she wouldn't.
The problem is sometimes people are educated, they unfortunately have the streak of jealousy. So there are people, they'll flog themselves silly and they'll never have a six-pack, and that is just a fact.
It's a fact.
Okay? In life, better to desire and crave less, you'll have more.
Dad has spoken. Laughing my arse out, it's incredible the lies that people tell and what her followers believe. She then went on to do another story saying, the only way I'd actually believe, that I'd have done it is if I was an athlete in some other sport since a young age and then transitioned into running. Do you want to make any kind of comment on my younger athleticism? Just a quick.
I need to bring something to the table here.
All right, okay.
Right, okay.
I have no idea.
Welcome back. Let's go back to Stephanie's athletic prowess in her younger days. Me and her brother Alex, we went to the park, we used to run. We used to run around a track which was no more than 400 meters.
This is the summer where helping Alex to get...
Alex wanted to try and win I think it was the 1500 meters at school. There was some guy who used to train silly, who was like the champion, unbeatable. And I told Alex, well, at least give the geezer a run for his money.
My dad was helping train my brother to run this race.
Yeah.
And I decided to join. I have no idea what age I was.
Exactly.
Never run in my life PE. That was my most hated subject.
She basically struggled to complete 400 meters. She'd look like a tomato.
So is that what the tomato is there for?
The tomato is less red than what Stephanie looked like. Stephanie would struggle with the 400 meters. This is what her face would used to look like at around 300 meters. But the important lesson that I remember clearly, and which is what the Nutty community as well as other people watching this video need to take on board, is that Stephanie didn't quit. She wanted to continue to run the 400 meters, and she finished the 400 meters and had the audacity half an hour later to say, shall we run it again? Which we did, and I think she was even slower then, but she's completed. She never quit.
But in short, my athletic ability from the age of child to 24 years old, non-existent.
Zero.
Okay, going back to this story, the only way that she could believe that I would have run the marathon is if I was an athlete in some other sport.
Cobblers to that.
And then she's saying instead, she claims she accidentally ran a marathon in the most battered shoes I've ever seen. But I'm insulted that she brought up the fact that how can I say that I ran in those battered trainers? Those trainers got me through those kilometers.
Okay, right. Better to be a talented runner in Nattys trainers than to be less than average in designer running shoes.
I mean, he raises a very fair point. Just to let you guys know, I did actually nearly run the ultra in those same battered trainers.
Good on you.
It's bullshit, and it's actually insulting to those who train hard. She claimed that she just effortlessly ran a marathon because it's all about mindset. Now, going back to what you said, I think that a lot is to do with mindset. Stop claiming you're a special unicorn because of your genetics.
Right.
So basically they're saying that I've trained every single day.
But that's impossible. You won't have the time because you're eating most of the time.
Number 2, aches, pains, and then pretended.
She should write fictional books.
Or number 3, it never actually happened. Either way, I call bullshit the end.
The third one was, what was the third thing again?
The third thing is, it never happened.
It never happened, okay. Little kids, they have an imagination and they're believers. They believe in tooth fairies, they believe in Santa Claus and chimneys. But there's the other type that think they are Mr. Know-it-all, who think that they're the ultimate encyclopedia on everything. Those people think that Christmas doesn't fall on the 25th of December, and they think they're right.
There's science that proves there's no way you ran that far without training with only 1 glass of water.
You defied science.
I mean, if they knew what I had eaten before I did the ultra, well, nearly.
A lot of people have overlooked is one tends to need to cheat if there is something at stake. If you're going to have a gold medal, a silver medal, a bronze medal, Olympic final or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or running a certain distance within a certain time because some company is going to give you £1 million if you run it in anything.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these things you're being induced to it.
No.
So the need or the motivation to want to do this thing is, I see as 0.
Yeah.
I just see you challenging yourself.
Yeah.
And I think people, instead of getting all bitter and twisted and coming with all this expertise, would be better off devoting their times to developing themselves so they can become better than mediocre.
Okay, so there's another thing that many people have been really wanting me to react to. To be honest, this video came out now, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago.
Alright, okay.
I've got to about 2 minutes of the video, which Abbey Sharp also knows, because once this video did come out, I sent a DM to Abbey Sharp and I said, honestly, I've only watched about 2 minutes of the video because I cringed so hard, I could not physically watch anymore, and I still haven't. I still have not watched this video.
Right.
I mean, we're not gonna sit through 42 minutes of somebody.
Taking a look at Stephanie Joshi from the YouTube channel Nuttyfoodiefitness. Now, Stephanie is a model and fitness.
It's so boring. Let's just
apple pie.
Okay.
To be honest,
Alright, okay. I think I've seen enough.
If you could clear
I mean, wait, we should probably
4 years instead of 30 years.
We should probably watch a bit. I just have no interest.
I think I've seen enough. I was going to do some recipes or something, but then she started spouting about Nuttyfoodiefitness. Anyway, okay, right, let's comment about this.
Long story short, there's a dietitian that
What's
on
her
the
name?
internet, Abbey Sharp.
Okay, right. I don't know Abbey, okay?
Yeah.
I suspect Abbey doesn't know me.
Yep.
I suspect you don't know Abbey, and Abbey doesn't know you.
No.
So I would say talking about something that we know very little about is not talking from a position of strength. That's the first thing I would say. Okay?
Agreed.
Right. We don't know her, she don't know us.
Yeah.
As is the way of the world. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the first point. Right. The second point I would say is, I don't know whether this lady has a daughter.
I don't know.
But let's just hypothetically say that she does.
Yeah, I think she's expecting a child.
Okay. I don't think she would be particularly jumping from the chandeliers in joy if I started commenting about what her kid was eating, right? So I'm not overly thrilled by what she has to say about you eating. The other thing I would say is, I worked in the NHS for 20 years. I know people whose ops were cancelled because they were clinically obese.
Okay.
It was too dangerous for them.
Yeah.
to have the op without losing weight. And that's where I would think that someone's expertise is better utilized. Equally, there will be some people that are very, very thin, like underweight, like dangerously underweight, right? Because you need a little bit of body fat to try and protect your organs or whatever.
Yeah.
Would it not be a better utilization of time to help these people as a dietitian of expertise than to be spending your time spouting all this stuff about So to me, it just seems like an utter waste of time spouting on something that she knows nothing about and claiming to be an expert. You know, the funny thing is, everybody is ignorant only on different subjects. She knows nothing about Nuttyfoodiefitness.
I agree. I've seen, guys, I can tell you, the only little bits that I have seen are when someone has put me on their story and I've seen a snippet of what she's said. I mean, she's backtracked now to cover herself. Let's bear in mind, this person has a huge platform, and everything that she says, her audience consider as
right, fine. Gospel,
yeah.
Okay, right.
I've always thought that what she does is wrong, because regardless of the fact that she made a video on me, which I don't care, so she's basically insinuated.
I know, without saying it, to cover herself. I don't think it's unlikely.
So Abbey Sharp roundabout has kinda, but not said, but kinda made the insinuation that this isn't how I normally eat. Or if it is, then these are the reasons that I look how I look, because I'm...
First thing I want to talk about is a more general point regarding some of what is being said by this YouTube vloggers or whatever you guys call yourselves.
Hashtag influencer.
The first thing I want to say about this is that a lot of what is being spouted is garbage. And unfortunately, a lot of people are a little less than bright, are unfortunately swallowing this sort of stuff. Personally, if I were to swallow any of this, I would have chronic indigestion. The second point I want to make, not that I'm suggesting this lady is doing this, it seems that some people are trying to enhance their following on the basis of the hard work of other people. That's what I think. Not that I'm suggesting for a moment this person has your interest at heart. I mean, you know, of course, she really is concerned about your intake.
So that we're all on the same page. I've spent the past few days at my dad's, and he has had the pleasure of cooking for me. Right. So how do I normally eat?
Stephanie eats a lot. Stephanie eats a lot every day. Stephanie cannot fast. Stephanie is incapable of doing some of these hideous acts that you guys are suggesting about what is it? I don't even know what it's called.
Purging.
And I don't particularly want to
intermittent fasting.
Fasting, macros, this, that, count calorie, count this.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very simple. The only thing that someone needs to count is the money in their pocket so they can buy food and put bread on the table. That's the only counting that should be taking place. It is garbage. I tell you what, I could throw up right now.
Let's move on. Somebody hold him back.
I just can't believe that someone with that sort of qualification and know-how would be wasting their time talking about the diet of peanut butter and what someone's eating. And I would think that you as the person, Nuttyfoodiefitness, would have a better idea of what fits you and suits your body than some stranger from outer Mongolia.
I mean, the amount of times that I have said everybody is different, like I get bored. I get bored of saying everybody is different.
Don't do what I do. If you do what I do, you'll end up like a balloon. What more can she bloody well do?
The amount of times that you've actually said to me, why do you constantly repeat yourself?
Yeah.
I have to because people don't get that I'm not promoting eat like me. I'm promoting eat like yourself. Find what works for you and keep doing that. It's the same with training. It's the reason I have no interest in sharing workouts. Like, I don't have a routine.
You know nothing about workouts. How the hell would you share them? Are these people silly or something? You keep saying, you know, bugger all about working out. You keep saying, watch YouTube. There are people who teach you how to do X, Y, and Z. Why are you wasting your time asking someone that is clearly saying she knows bugger all about the subject matter?
It's true. People say, well, you've got fitness in your name. do a workout. There's so many fitness accounts that do that. There's no need for me to make videos. So in short, Abbey Sharp.
Use your expertise to help. There are thousands of people craving to lose weight or gain weight. Why don't you please use your expertise and serve them? If Stephanie wants your advice, I'm sure she's well capable of DMing you.
Woo!
If she wants your advice, she'll ask for it.
Same with anybody else. I just feel like somebody that is qualified, you go to them. You go to the dietitian. Yeah. They don't analyze your diet and then put it on the internet.
You know, at this point, I'm actually quite staggered. Nuttyfoodiefitness is just a normal girl. She is freakishly talented. For whatever reason, right? I accept it, I'm proud of it. But she's just a normal person. Why can't you just accept her?
I'm personally going to say that I think that you have well and truly set the record straight on a number of issues. I think you've definitely said enough.
Well, I don't think I've said enough. I think I've really bit my lip most of this evening.
Guys, the thing is, he actually has. I've had to calm my dad down.
I think we've addressed some of the concerns that the world seems to have over Nutty's health.
It still baffles me.
Yeah.
So I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. Slightly different type of video, but hopefully we have addressed things and you can hopefully see that, I mean, I'm just a normal person that loves food. I love pushing myself, setting myself unrealistic challenges and achieving it.
The other thing I want to add is 230,000 people or whatever are your followers.
Yeah.
Even if a fraction of them have had a positive influence on their life and their ambitions, then you've done something significant and worthwhile.
Yeah.
And you stand by the mantra of mind over matter.
100%.
So I want to end by saying something that someone very, very clever once said. Words must surely be counted amongst the most powerful drugs man ever invented. My take on that is talk to yourselves and believe.
Woo! There was motivation. After all of that, there was some motivation in there. I do want to say one final thing. You know, I talk about genetics, of course, the gains. It's all about the gains, as you once famously said.
Genetics.
One final thing that I've never really touched upon, and it's like overlooked, but there is more to genetics than just aesthetic, being able to run a certain thing. It's character, it's what has been instilled in me, and I'm gonna say that that is down to the person you are watching right now, and that is down to my dad.
I'm humbled by Stephanie's mention of that. It means a great deal to me, and I hope that those that have hatred in their hearts will see the light.
I think so. In short,
Haters are gonna hate, but
keep on shining, keep on setting goals for yourself, keep on smashing life.
You simply cannot turn an ugly duckling into a swan. You've got to have the raw material. This is the raw material. Stay nutty, my friends.
Tell them to smash the thumbs up.
In fact, not like, love.
And then force them into subscribing.
Subscribe.
The bell notification.
I tell you what.
Go on.
Talking about bell notifications.
If you enjoyed my dad being on this YouTube video, how many loves or likes does this video need to get in order for my dad to come back on this channel?
Anything less than 15,000, what's the point of even recording?
15?
Yeah, what's the point of recording?
What video will we film? A challenge?
This was serious, okay? I'm not that serious.
Okay, there you go. 15,000 likes and my dad will be back on the channel. Thanks so much for watching and stay nutty, my friends. I enjoyed that. I think that was really good. Regarding my drug use, in fact, could you...
Oh. Yeah. What's all this? What's all this gear? That's it. And there's... Oh, hang on a minute. Ibuprofen. Coated. And what?
It's just the... It's still recording.
Still recording.
Where's the syringe? Where's the syringe?
Oh, I think we've got rid of the gear. I'm a brilliant cook. I would be very deeply offended if someone was to want to throw up that sort of quality cuisine that I've been making. She likes her food too much. The only reason she would throw up is because she wants a second feed and wants to eat it again. That's because it's damn good. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's disgusting though.